Hi everyone, welcome to your practice today. My name is Sarah and I've been given the opportunity and the pleasure to deliver an hour of yoga for the community of St James Primary in Manchester. And it's a great pleasure for me to do that. And I just want to let you know that this video can be used in different ways. You could just tune in to the beginning portion, which is a lot about centering and limbering up the body, just warming up the body. You might feel as though you've got more time in your day, that you might want to fit in the vinyasa part of the class, where we look more at the postural forms and flow. Or you may want to skip right to the end, where we do a delicious relaxation, and you can go to that video again and again to take what you need. And my first invitation is for you to come and rest down on the ground. So we'll always begin the practice lay down on the ground, or I would say on a bed, but actually it's probably better for you to come down onto the ground. Fight the urge, even if it's the first thing you've done today, just come out of bed, lay down on your mat or wherever it is that you're practicing. Begin with the knees bent and the feet on the ground, and rest the back of the head on the floor. The hands can go absolutely anywhere that you like, and this part of the practice really is just an opportunity for you to settle into your body and to begin to listen or watch or feel from the inside out how it is that your body feels. So starting to feel the bones become heavy and the body resting its weight down into the earth. And we begin this way so that the muscles release. So hopefully you won't feel that you have to have any muscles switched on at this point. And you can just ask everything to let go, to soften, to relax. You might take a second to close the eyes if you haven't already. And if closing the eyes feels very uncomfortable or unnatural to you, then you might instead just soften your gaze so that you can see, but you're not looking for anything in particular. And then pay attention to the head. Is there any way that you could relax the head some more? And just by tuning into this weight of the head, feeling of the skull, the face, the neck, you're shifting your attention to what's happening right now and away from things that are happening around us that perhaps we can't control. So stick with the body, stick with the breath, and let the mind take a tour down through the throat, resting either side of the windpipe, feeling the breath there perhaps, down and into the chest and the shoulders. Have a sense of the arrangement of your arms. Welcome home to your body. Say hello to each part of the spine as you guide your awareness down through the torso, into the belly region. And your mind is there, perhaps even your hands, your palms are resting there. Can you feel the breath down in the belly? Saying hello to the pelvis and to the sacrum, the back of your pelvis, the legs, thighs, knees, calves, ankles. Maybe the soles of the feet, perhaps you could slide the heels away from you now and extend the legs more fully. And experience the space at the front of the hips. And anytime you need to, you can move and you can adjust and you can follow the intuition of your own body. And throughout this practice, I'll call on you again and again to move in a way that's comfortable, to go only as far as feels good for you. So if there is any goal right now, let that be the pursuit of comfort, to be as comfortable as possible. And as the ground takes care of the body, you might begin to focus on your breath. Feeling it coming in and out through the nose or through the mouth if you're congested at this time of year. Feel the breath, finding space in the body. And if there are places where the breath feels as though it gets stuck or there's restriction, then focus on your breath expanding in that place. Feel spacious as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, feel the energy drawing back to your center, your navel, the belly. Taking a couple of breaths just to notice the body, feel how it feels to be in this body right now, before we begin to move. Get a sense of the whole body as it rests down, maybe even visualizing the whole body. Breathing, resting, smiling, and then taking some movement into the breath. As you inhale, let the arms float all the way up and over, stretching through the fingertips. And maybe if the breath has had a chance to slow down, you could really slow down this movement. Exhale, take the arms all the way back alongside you, coming through that same arc in the sky, the same semicircle. You might have the feet to the floor at this point if it's better for your back. Inhale. Nice big overhead, reach through the fingers. Inhaling to the side ribs, exhale, let the lower back press down into the ground as you lower the arms. Carry on just like this, or let the knees come off the floor, float the feet off the floor, bring the knees into the chest. As the arms reach overhead, exhale. Taking the arms back down onto the floor either side of you. This time as you breathe in, you're going to float your knees away gently. And this is a massage for the spine, for the back of the body, but it's also a way for us to switch on the core muscles, those really kind of deep abdominal muscles that help keep us strong and stable. Breathing and synchronizing each movement with the breath. One more lovely big overhead stretch. And take the hands then behind the knees. Try to straighten the legs here and find a bit of momentum up and down the spine. Might be a very small movement. Might be a movement that picks up speed, gathers momentum, with the chin tucked in and the back of the neck long. I always find there's not enough opportunity for rocking up and down your back in everyday life. So you might rock all the way up to sitting, or you might come into sitting in whatever way is comfortable for you. Resting then on a blanket or a pillow or a block, something to lift the hips and give you space at the front here of the hips. And bring the feet underneath the knees. Take a moment now to feel the arrangement of your body as you come to Sukhasana or easy seated position. Let the head rest comfortably at the top of the spine, and then as we inhale, we'll take the arms all the way out to the sides and up to the ceiling. Let the fingers touch, and then as you breathe out, press down through the palms and let the attention just drift down the torso, down the spine, back into the earth, through the sit bones. 2 more. Inhale, lovely big overhead reach. Exhale, slowing the breath, feeling the navel drawing back towards your spine and everything in the core working to support you. 1 more here, breathing in. Taking the awareness perhaps down the back line of the body now, back of the head, neck, shoulders, spine, to the sit bones. Letting the hands pause for a moment in the lap, or bringing the right hand over the top of the left. Interlace the fingers and relax the hands down into your lap. On an inhalation, we're going to turn to look to the left, relaxing along the jaw and across the throat. Inhale, return to center. Good. Exhale to the right. Inhale to come back to the middle. And just continue this way. And we're not counting the repetitions here, we're just feeling into an intuitive amount. Going for a healthy feel. Thinking about how the breath is mirroring the movement. This is a small movement, so you might feel that the breath is quite small. And we might be able to compare this then later to a breath that is bigger, more expansive. Now, the next time that you come to center, we'll release the left ear over the left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, right ear over right shoulder. And carry on this way. As you move, you're using just the weight of the head to create a stretch in the side of the neck. Some of you may be working from home or caring for small children. And all of this can take its toll on the neck, the shoulders, the upper back. So we're easing that tension away, keeping the throat and the jaw nice and relaxed. Next time the head comes back to center, drop the chin down towards the chest. Relax the shoulders. Inhale and lift the head, drawing a line with the nose and lifting from beneath the heart. Exhale down. Keeping with this steady breath and movement integration. They move together. Exhaling, releasing chin to chest. Good. Nice big breath in. Lift the collarbones, lift the breastbone, lift the gaze. Now the next time that the chin is down, in a clockwise direction, begin to draw circles with the nose. And these might be very, very small, or they might be bigger. And throughout this practice, some of you will have more range of movement than others. Some of you will be flexible, where others are strong. So we'll adapt the practice as we go, releasing chin to chest. Good, coming back the other way, anti-clockwise. And if you feel that you've gone a different way, no problem. Just feel into all of these pressure points along the front of the throat. And then relax the chin down towards the chest. Good, inhale, lifting the heart, lifting the head, and bringing the hands to rest at the top of the thighs. Now just give the thighs a little press here and bring the shoulders up by the ears. We're going to take some shoulder rolls now, but this action of pressing and of straightening the elbow and of really getting some space at the front of the hip, you can do as you roll your shoulders. And we'll begin by rolling the shoulders back and off the front of the torso. So on a breath in, we'll bring the shoulders up. On a breath out, we release them down. And it is quite an awkward thing to do this rolling of the shoulders at the same time as pressing through the hands. But if yoga can take us to a place physically, it can also really help us to concentrate and focus. So even if something is challenging, just to focus on it can help you to be present and to be here in your body. So each time the shoulders come up, pressing down, straightening at the elbows. Good. And then pause that movement. Feel the directional shift and come back the other way. You can stay with the palms facing down, or you could even flip onto the tops of the hands now and continue to roll the shoulders forwards. This can be a small movement and still quite powerful if you're zoning into that shoulder joint and socket. Good, continue to roll the shoulders and then relax it down. Hopefully you might even feel a bit of heat developing now in the shoulders and a bit of heat through the body. Extend the legs out ahead of you, give them a little shake. We're starting to enter the place where we're limbering up the body now, so options are available for you. You can either bring the right leg in and keep the left leg out ahead of you extended, or you can tuck this left foot right by your outer hip and come into more of a cross-legged position. Use your right hand to hold onto your ankle, and with the opposite hand, bring your fingers in between each one of these toes. If it's very cold, you've got socks on, you don't feel like you're ready for that yet, then just hold on to the top of the foot and wind this ankle round in circles. Really feeling into the joint and the fluid of the joint, the movement and where the movement is happening. Pausing then and coming round the other way, notice how it feels to come this other way. The space that you're creating between the toes is mirrored then in the spaces such as the intercostal muscles, around the outer hips, around the jaw, making space. Good, relax that down. Come to bring yourself into a seated position and just place the hands on the floor ahead of you. When the hands settle and the soft tissue of the hand settles, and you settle into the index finger and into the base of the thumbs, Then you might be able to focus back your energy into your sit bones and the place where your body is touching the ground through the outside of the feet. You can stay if you're very flexible or you feel comfortable to come further. Use your breath out to come forwards, come down. And wherever you reach the edge of your stretch for the lower back, for the hips, use an inhalation into the kidneys, the lower back, the floating ribs. Good. Exhale fully and completely. Let the breath in bring you back. Bring the right leg out ahead of you and place the left foot, then the ankle onto the right thigh. Remember, you can also bend this right knee, bring it by the outside of your hip. Left hand stabilizes the ankle, fingers between the toes or around the top of the foot. Rotating now and taking the ankle joint through its range of motion. Perhaps for the first time today, letting the feet really experience all of the potential movement rather than just a repetitive movement, or maybe no movement at all if you've been sat for really long periods of time, which is the case for a lot of us. Slow these down, come back the other way, good, rotating, closing the eyes even, visualizing what's happening in the small bones and the muscles and the soft tissue of the ankle. Slow this movement down. Come to easy cross-legged, hopefully with the legs switched around. Folding forwards again. Releasing the hips. And then relaxing the sit bones, the bony parts of your pelvis, the places that touch the ground or your blanket. Keep the back of the neck long, even if it is that you're draping the torso forwards, you're coming lower, you're reaching down with the heart, with the head. Whatever is happening here and however far forwards you're coming, try to encourage the jaw to relax all the way across, evenly left to right. Notice if that helps to relax the hips. Let there be space between the teeth. Inhale, gently rising back up through the spine. Good, and then coming over onto all fours. Now if you are coming along for the ride, you're coming along for the rest of the practice, then great. If you just wanted to limber up a little bit, you might want to stop there. But coming to tabletop is a very delicious position for the spine. It's still horizontal, it's supported. We have these lovely vertical lines from shoulder to wrist, from hip to knee, fingers spread, knuckles pressing down. We'll turn the toes under and give the feet a stretch. The under, the soles of them, the inner arch, all the way through into the little toes. Good, bring the tops of the feet to the floor again and sink the shoulder blades towards one another. Really release the chest towards the ground, the belly towards the ground. Neck is just comfy and long. Exhale and press the floor away from you. And now create an arch between those shoulder blades, really pressing up into the upper back. Relax the head. Inhale, sinking the shoulder blades together, shining the light of your heart towards the front of your mat. Shoulders are back from the ears. Exhale, rounding all the way through the spine. Pulling up away from gravity with the belly, with the navel, the belly button. Continue this way with the breath. It might be that your breath is quicker. It might be that your breath is slower as you relax the body in and out of this cat stretch. Just noticing. Good. Return to neutral spine then. And lift up out of the shoulders as if you were going to dome the back, but not as exaggerated as that. Imagine an invisible thread pulling your head forwards, an invisible thread pulling your tail back, so that the vertebra of the spine are spacious. Good. From this position, begin to move or wag the tail and the head from side to side. And this movement is started at the centre of your body, around about your belly button. The pelvis and the head are just moving naturally with the rest of the spine. We're not leading at either end. We're leading from our center. Slow it down. Good. Sit back for a moment into Virasana or into a kneeling position. Interlace the fingers. Lift the elbows up, but sink the shoulders down towards your pelvis or towards the floor behind you, and roll into the wrists. Energizing the wrists is really important, especially because a lot of what we do in yoga asks us to bear weight on the arms, which is healthy, but it is challenging for the wrists. So have a look at which direction the fingers are moving in and then switch that direction. Either sending the fingers away from you or bringing them towards you and rolling the wrists the other way. Pay attention to the shoulders, keep them down away from the ears, and relax the hands. Walking your way back onto the palms of the hands and welcoming space between them, so at least shoulder width between the hands. Tuck the toes and begin pressing the sit bones back to the heels as you breathe out. Inhale, shift the weight of the body forwards and the shoulders over the wrists. If you like this movement, you can creep the fingers forwards, the wrists forwards, and give your core a bit more work to do as you come forwards, but also give your lower back and your side body more stretch as you press the bottom back. Inhale forwards, exhale back. You can stay doing this. Stay on all fours if you like, or on an exhalation, we're going to press up into downward facing dog. So instead of pressing the hips back to your heels, you're going to lift your knees and press your hips up to the sky. Up to the sky into your back wall or whatever is behind you, through the inner thighs, through the heart and the front of the body. Finding a lift up onto your tiptoes. Good. Inhale, lower the knees down towards the ground. Shoulders over wrists. Exhale back. Now resting right down into child's pose. So your big toes are touching, your knees are comfortably spread, and you're relaxing down towards the ground. You might stack your fists to rest your head, or you may be flexible enough to bring it all the way down to the ground. And really, we're not chasing flexibility. So rest where you're comfortable, breathe into your upper back, breathe into the back lungs and the back of the rib cage. Feel that breath right down into the back of the pelvis, spreading out in this back of the body. As you inhale, lift the head slightly from wherever it is placed, let the hands come ahead of you, fingers spread. Use the next breath in to come forwards, low on the ground, noticing how it feels in the shoulders. Press the earth away from you, round the spine, and exhale back to child's pose. So the breath in takes you forwards, open across the chest. The breath out presses you back, navel toward the spine. Stay in this movement, keeping with the knees down, or shift it into downward facing dog as you exhale. Meeting in downward facing dog, and we're going to meet in a nice big tiptoe downward facing dog, heels off the earth. Feel into the support of your shoulders, relax your head, let it dangle. Now I'd like you to release your heels down to the left. So you're releasing the heels down to the left, bending the left knee, so it's pointing to the right, so are your toes. Right hand comes to the back of your neck. Now this is a bit of a silly movement. We're going to be curious here as we roll around the shoulder, this left shoulder, and bring the hips down. Sitting down, both hands to the back of the neck. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. Leaning back. Exhale, bring the spine back to neutral. Take this left hand back where it was, behind you. Pressing into the feet, lift the hips. Spiral, unwind, all the way back into downward facing dog. Now if that just felt very unnatural for you, don't worry. Don't worry, you can do those things in stages. You can come from downward facing dog just to sit, or you can come right up onto the tiptoes, lift the hips, lift the pelvis off the spine, bring the heels down to the right. Trust your intuition. Bend your right knee over to the left. Take your weight into that right hand, left hand to the nape of your neck. Slowly let your hips come down. Let your hips come down and into a seated position. Bring both hands now to the nape of the neck, to the back of the head. Inhale as the shoulders drip down towards the ground. You're lifting as if there's a helium balloon tied to the heart. Exhale, slowly twist through. Right hand comes down. Look at where you want to go as you press through the feet back into downward facing dog. Little spirals, little sacred kind of spirally shapes happening in the body now. And it might not feel that way to you, but I promise your body is going to thank you for these stretches now at the back of the legs. And then we'll slowly walk the feet into the hands. Walk the feet in and bow generously, bending the knees, softening the knees so that the spine can relax. The hands can rest on the floor, they might rest on the ankles, elbows are drawing out to the sides. Breathing into the back of your body. Good, let the hands slowly come up to the thighs or up towards the hips. And we're going to hinge here at the hips and lift halfway. Reach through the top of the head. Bring one hand to the back of your neck, one to your belly. Use the hands to support you as you lift the rest of the way. Setting then the arms free. So you should be around about the front edge of your mat, but if you're not, you can come to there. Step forwards to the front of your mat, reach up through your arms and set the fingers free. Good, I will face you actually, that's probably best. Rain the fingers down. And connect to the energy of your feet, so really land your weight down through your feet. You can step the feet as wide as you want to for this. We're going to slowly bend the knees and begin with soft arms, lazy arms to find a twist. You can go to a place where your knee bends and your back foot lifts, or if you really want to maximize the twist across your waist and get into that stuck area of the middle back, then firm down through your feet, let them relax, as if you sat on a bus shelter or a little stool, a bar stool, okay? And just twist the waist, turn the waist. Front hand taps the muscles here at the top of the torso, around the lungs. The back hand flicks up the back and taps your floating ribs, your kidney region. And don't be afraid to give yourself a good tap. Let these movements slowly fade. And even as they fade, you should notice a feeling of this continuing internally inside. Straighten the legs, bring the hands to the hips, circle the hips 3 times one way. Your feet might be narrower than mine. And then 3 times the other way. All the way around. Good. Relax down through the shoulder blades and keep that lift from the heart. Inhale, palms face the sky. We lift one foot, completely up to you. Go for what feels natural. Rotate the ankles and into the foot now, so challenging your balance. Fix your gaze on something unmoving. So if you're practicing with family and they're wobbling all over the place, that's not going to help you. Wind them around the other way. Try to relax into the glutes and relax your jaw. Smiling helps with this. Palms down. Place the foot back down, shift your weight. Inhale, opposite side, rises, palms up, rotate. Rotate and keep your energy, keep your focus in the joints. And if like mine, they're making sounds, snap, crackle and pop, then celebrate the music of the body. And pause, shifting the other way. Noticing how it feels to balance on this side of the body. For me, it is much more a challenge. As you can see. Exhale, palms down, place the foot down. Breathe in and let the arms coming up, draw the breath into the lungs. Lift the gaze, lift beneath the heart. Exhale, press the palms down the front line of the body. So thinking about moving towards the front edge of the mat now so that we can come through some sun salutations. This time as you breathe in, you're going to draw that big bubble around you, that big bubble of safety around you. And then this time as you breathe out, we're going to hinge from the hips, folding forward, spine long, all the way down, letting the head bow to the earth, chin in, inhale, Rising like a ragdoll all the way through the spine. Let the hands come around the sides of the face and up through the fingertips. Let the hands come down the same way this time, drifting past the sides of the face. You're folding at the hips. Fingers down, head down, chin in. Inhale, let the hands come up towards the knees or up towards the thighs. Lengthen through the top of the head, back through your tail. Vertebra have space. Exhale, rolling it down. Good. Step the left foot back and then step the right foot back. Come into a plank pose, or perhaps keep the knees down if you prefer. You're bringing the front of the body up towards the back of your body to keep it firm. Lift up out of the shoulders. Get a bit of momentum rocking over those toes. And the arms are going to stay hugged into the body the whole time. The elbows, as they bend towards the back of your mat. So prepare yourself for a bit of an energizing flow here. Inhale, and as you exhale, lower towards the ground. Lower all the way onto your belly, onto the tops of the thighs, the tops of the feet, and breathe in to lift away from the earth into Cobra. It doesn't have to be a big movement, but keep the energy back through the legs. Exhale, relaxing down onto the belly, tucking the toes under, lifting the knees, energizing the legs. Now you can press from here to plank, or you can come to tabletop. I'm going to join those of you coming to plank from here. Lift up out of those shoulders. Exhale and press back into downward facing dog. And you will have to walk the feet a little bit closer to you and adjust. And then feel as though, like a stack of playing cards, your legs and your upper body are meeting at the middle in the pelvis. And if you can, see if you feel the breath down into the belly, into the front of the hips. Keep that breath in, rising, and lift the left leg into it. Exhale, bring that left foot back down. Breathing in, switching to the right side now, giving it a nice big lift, opening the hip. Exhale, bring it back down. Left side, inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, bring it through. Now you can either step it through to wherever it goes and then take hold of the ankle and place it forwards, okay? Or you might find that the foot goes there naturally. Lower down onto your left knee, or your right knee, I should say. Breathe in, peel away from the earth. Feeling the shoulders shifting back, the heart rising. Exhale, relaxing back down. Tuck those toes under and feed the energy of your hips back. The foot, this left, the knee can be soft, but you really want to lengthen forwards through the top of the head and across the collarbones. Keep breathing into the belly. Walk it forwards. Slide that left knee back beneath you. You can stay here or back to plank. On an exhalation, lower down towards the ground, onto the belly, onto the tops of the legs and the feet. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, fold, tuck toes, energize the legs, press up to a plank, and then exhale or breathe out into downward facing dog. Breathing out and letting the head and the weight of the head drop down towards the ground as we lift through the tailbone, lift all the way up through the right leg. Breathing out, take it through, step it through the hands, or come down onto the knee first, the left knee, and then step the right foot forwards. Lunging now, as we inhale, we lift away from the ground, so you're taking that defiant step away from gravity. Fingers and elbows working to reach to the earth. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Tuck the back toes, stretch out the underside of this right leg. And if you are flexible and you really do feel that you can invite this leg to straighten, then do. But if it's going to cause you to grip and tense, then don't. Breathe into the lower back and allow that area to expand. Walk it forwards. Shift the right knee beneath you. Come into plank pose. Exhale to the floor. And inhale away from it. Bending now through the spine back and away from earth. Exhale, fold it down, slink like a snake towards the ground. Press up into Palangasana, plank pose, and then into downward facing dog. Building up now some heat throughout the body and really energizing the joints. This downward facing dog is giving the heart a rest and is energizing the chest, the head, helpful for this time of year, boosting immunity. Have a look at your room upside down. Good, lift the head, look ahead of you, and either step the feet or walk them in, one at a time or one step at a time. Bend the knees if you need to, hug the ankles, release the crown of the head. Root down through your feet, and on a breath in, we're going to rise up through the fingertips, all the way up to the sky. Breathing out, the hands come down and rest in the heart space. On an exhalation, drop the fingertips back down towards the floor. Find that lift from the heart. And we'll go again. Only this time we're going to step things up. So if you want to, you can stay with how that flow felt for you. Or you can start to build up a little bit more power into that now. Inhaling. Sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale. One nice long big breath all the way down to the floor. Belly hugs the thighs. Inhale. Tabletop. Come halfway. Open the chest. Exhale, roll it down through the spine, and we'll step the right foot back and then the left foot back. Stay where we were with the lowering down onto your belly, or with the arms hugged in. Bend the elbows to the back of your mat, so you're hovering. Exhale more as you feed the body through the hands. Inhale onto the tops of the feet, the thighs, the knees, the shins, lift from the earth, upward facing dog. Exhale, let the knees come down, the toes tuck. Up and back, downward facing dog. Breathing and breathing and breathing into the belly and focusing on what feels good here. Pressing down and rooting down through the left foot. Lift the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, bring it through, step it through and put it between your hands. And if it doesn't go there, remember you can take it there yourself. Left heel comes down. Make sure there is space between the feet, hip distance between the feet, between the heels. Bring your right thumb into your hip crease, your right hip crease. And as you inhale, slowly lift, bringing up the left arm, warrior one. And a warrior position is great for bringing awareness into the outer hips and into the spine. Maybe both arms lift, like you're holding a giant beach ball above the head. Breathe in, then expanding the chest. And as you breathe out, folding forwards. Pivot those toes now, so the left toes point forwards, and step it back into plank. Inhale, exhale, lower down. Exhale, more come through. Inhale, upward dog. Remember, you could always come into low cobra. Belly and hips down. Exhale, find downward facing dog. Find a downward facing dog and find space for the whole length of your spine. So practice with the knees deeply bent. See how that feels. Inhale, lifting the left leg when you're ready. Exhale, stepping it through, bringing the left foot forwards, toes pointing forwards, right heel down. And if you're looking at that right heel, it should be tracking your right hip. Left thumb comes into left hip crease. Breathe in, nice tall spine, rising to warrior one, and then lifting both arms, maybe nice wide, big, open arms. Breathing out, fold forwards, fingertips down, step back into plank. Come through chaturanga, bending the elbows, hovering down, breathing out, more coming through. Upward facing dog. Let the collarbones be open and expansive. Exhale, pressing back, pressing up, downward facing dog. Bring the inner thighs to face the back of your room, the back of your mat. Breathe down into the front of the hips. Sense the space between your shoulder blades, let there be space there. Broaden the back. Walking it forwards then, feet towards the hands. Bow deeply when you get there. Root down through the feet, inhale, rise through the fingertips. Use the upper back to lift the spine. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Let the fingertips release, face the earth, shoulders down, shoulders back. Coming into a little action for balance. And balancing is especially nice for keeping us in this present moment and allowing us to be here where we are. So feel down into the feet, into the position of the feet. Feel into what feels like your strongest side. Usually it's the right side and the dominant side. So I'm going to lead with this side. So take your weight into the right leg and bring the left knee up. We've worked with this asymmetrical stuff earlier, so give it a nice squeeze in towards the body. Exhale, relax it down. Switching sides then. Bringing a bit of compression into the hip flexors, the front of the hips. Challenging the muscles in the glutes, release it down. Okay, hug the left knee in. Now you can stay with this action, one foot to the other, especially if you find that it is quite challenging for you today, or let the arms be free. As you inhale, set them free to the sky and lift the left foot. Exhale down. Shifting across. Inhale. Exhale. Feel into the feet as they touch down onto the ground. You're yielding to the earth, and the earth is there to hold your weight. So really give it over. Be heavy through the legs. Again, you can stay with this, or you can step it up. So lifting the left leg, lifting the arms. Exhale, step the left foot back, press back through the palms, shoulders together. Speeding it up maybe, building up a little bit of challenge for that front foot and the front leg and the glutes, and the hips, also the shoulders. So celebrate all of that, and then we'll stop in that warrior one. Hug the elbows behind you, lift from the base of your heart. Good, set the fingers free. Bring them into your heart space. Focus on the front leg, into the front foot, the knuckle of the big toe. Shift onto the tiptoes of the left foot. Stay, focus your energies, find your center. Maybe lift the back leg. Lifting the thigh, the inner thigh to the sky. And then stepping back, warrior one. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands into the heart, shifting forwards, warrior three. Let those toes face the earth. Exhaling back, and you might be doing this much quicker than me, okay? You might feel actually that you could quite enjoy pausing. And after one or two more of these dynamic movements, we will pause, and I'll ask you to be curious about the placement of your arms. If you have the space, you might float them out like wings either side of you. You could use the wings to draw the shoulders back as you reach back through the fingers. And we'll look forwards, okay, as we step those left toes down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, drape the torso forwards over the thigh. Let the hands rest on your lower back. Relax the shoulders, relax the head, the back of the neck. And then feel into that left heel, or whichever heel is behind you, the leg that's behind you. Feel into that as you lift the spine, shifting the weight into warrior one. Hands down, thumbs at the sternum, step forwards. Feel now the weight of your body through both legs. And then on an inhalation, shift weight into the left leg, lift the right, lift the arms. Exhale, step it back, warrior one. And as you press back through the palms, shift the shoulders off the front of the torso. Good. You might be moving super slow between the two, or really fast, like it's Saturday Night Fever. It's your practice, it's your body. Go mindfully, and then stop in that warrior one. Hold on to the elbows, or this time, interlace the fingers. Elbows nice and soft. Shoulder blades, scapula joined towards one another. Feed the knuckles down towards your heel, maybe finding a little gentle back bend. Good, release, hands into the heart. Shift forwards. Come onto the back toes. Feel into this front leg. Stabilizing your core. Go shifting into warrior three perhaps. Dial the toes towards the ground. Turn the inner thigh towards the sky. Step it back, warrior one, lift the arms. Good, moving dynamically between the two now. You might find that as the arms outstretch for warrior one, they might stay there as you come to warrior three. There is no right or wrong. And welcome home to your body, welcome home to the playfulness of yoga. Good, holding then this warrior three. And for me, this is my left side, and I'm very, very, very challenged on this left side. So if you feel the same, then notice that, okay? Open up the outside of that hip that you're standing on, of your standing leg. Good. Step the right foot back. Lift the arms. Exhale, relax it down, relax it forwards. You might leave the fingers on the floor or bring them onto your lower back. Humble warrior. Weight even in the feet. Breath fully in the back of the body and the side of the ribs. Relax the fingers down to the ground now. We're going to step it into plank. Lower down, all the way down to the earth. Rest your head on your stacked fists or unstacked palms. Give your glutes a little wiggle if it helps to relieve any tension that there might be in the spine. And then in your own time, lift the feet and drop the heels towards your sit bones. This helps to create space at the front of the legs, the front of the hips, the belly. And then as we take the feet from side to side like windscreen wipers, we're opening the chest, psoas, the hips, the waist. So give it some movement side to side. And then when the feet come back in line with the hips, rest down onto the tops of them. Shift the hands to beneath the shoulders, perhaps. We can start there anyway. Reaching back through the toes, so there's energy back through the legs. Inhale, lift through the spine. And then this is a cobra, so what we don't want to do is press the ground away because snakes don't have hands. So you're using the spine, using the spine. You can use the hands, but don't just rely on them solely. Keeping the shoulders down and back from the ears. Exhale to the floor. Now that might have been plenty for you. You might just want to play coming in and out of that pose. Or reaching back through the fingers now. So not having the help of those at all. Still the energy back through the feet and through the toes. Now we've also got energy back through the fingers and through the elbows. As you inhale, peel up away from the ground. You might feel your glutes switching on. You don't need them necessarily. It's not a bad thing. Just notice what's happening for you. Set the neck free. Exhale to lower. Maybe onto the side of the face, maybe onto the forehead. You can rise in and out of that 2 or 3 times with the breath, or you can step it up again. Really taking some time to open up the heart space, okay? Because in winter we hunch forwards and we round, so we want to be really encouraging space through the back of the body and in around the lungs, okay? So reaching back through the fingers and through the toes. As you inhale, we're lifting and really balancing on our center. Shifting back through the shoulders, reaching forward through the crown of the head. Exhale, lower. If you were on the side of the face, come to the opposite side. We'll have one more go, wherever you feel comfortable. And if none of those felt comfortable to you, either the cobra or the Shalabhasana 1, so half of a locust pose, or maybe B. Okay, if all of those felt uncomfortable, come into Sphinx. Sphinx is lush. Your elbows support your shoulders, your chest is still encouraged to be open. Back of the neck is long, you can take some circles here. This is a place that's very, very healthy for the spine. The upper middle back is given a chance to move out of its usual range. So it's a delicious wake up for the back body. And then after whichever back bend we've chosen, we'll tuck the toes, lift up through tabletop and press the hips back for a lovely child's pose. Let the shoulders roll out so that there's space and there's broadness in the upper back. You could even roll onto the outside edge of the little finger and the outside edge of the hand, resting on the elbows, and breathe in between the shoulder blades. Good, come up gently through the spine, rolling it up, letting the vertebrae stack and realign segment by segment, head and neck, last things to come up. Weight in the hands as you tuck the toes. I'm just going to crawl forwards. Tuck the toes and bring the heels together and give the feet a stretch. Now over time, you can build this up so that you are bringing more and more weight onto the toes, giving them a real stretch. And if you're wearing shoes a lot or just moving in very repetitive ways, then the inner arches can lose energy, and that feeds right up into the pelvis and the hips and into your core. So giving a nice big stretch, relaxing through the spine. Remember, you can always keep the fingers on the floor and take some pressure off. And then we'll lower down onto the tops of the feet, over to one side to bring the feet to the floor. Feet to the floor, hands behind the thighs, or if you like to, you can give yourself a nice big hug and find the elbows. Bring your weight back into the tripod of your sit bones and your tailbone. So the pelvis is like a little triangle almost that you can find a balance on. You can lift the feet, you can keep them relaxed, or you can lift the heels so that the shins are parallel to the floor. And work here at lifting up through the heart. Shoulders mounting down, heart lifting skywards, proud in the chest. Find that little bit of balance, and then maybe feel into a release of one arm at a time. Palms facing the sky, heart still lifted, challenging and switching on this energy here at our center. Great for digestion, great for a support of the lower back. Inhale. Exhale, land the feet down. Use the length of your next breath out to roll down onto your back. Hug your knees in. Relax the jaw. Relax the tongue. Feel the back of the neck widen. The lower back press down into the ground. Find a little rocking from side to side. Massaging the lower back and the place just beneath the rib cage. Keep the hands on the knees as you settle the feet down, hip distance apart. Feel into the feet, into the knuckles of the toes, the ball of the foot, the outer edge, the heel. Let the hands come to the belly or to the earth either side of you. Shoulders roll out, neck is gently tucked. Feel into the breath. So take a moment or two to feel the phases of the breath. On a breath in, as you breathe in, we'll lift the hips and the arms all the way up and over. Lovely big extended bridge. Exhale, lower all the way back down, arms and spine coming together. Good. Now, as you did that first movement, you might have felt into a better arrangement for your legs. Ideally, your heels are beneath your knees, so they're quite close, but not forced. You don't want to find a big arch in your lower back. If taking the arms up and overhead isn't comfortable for you, just work the legs and work the energy of the pelvis instead. So inhale, arms come all the way up as the hips lift, as high as feel comfortable. Exhale, this time just the spine comes down, arms stay back. Drip down gently through the segments of the spine. Let the pelvis rest. Inhale, let's go back for the arms then. Pelvis lifting from the earth up to the shoulders, the upper back. Keep the hips up this time and lower the arms. It's as if we're on two kind of escalators going up and down and past one another, but not meeting. So we have to come back for the hips now. Lift the arms as you inhale. Keep those knees driving forward as you exhale. Slowly, with that breath out, nice and controlled, lower the spine. Doing that again when you're ready. Inhaling, arms lift, hips lift. Knees drive forward. Use the energy of the thighs, the feet in contact with the ground. Exhale, just the spine comes down. Celebrate each curve. Inhale, let the hips come back up, peeling the spine off the ground, off the mat. Exhale, just the arms traveling now back to the ground. The hips stay high, the energy of the heart drawing down to the throat. Inhale, lift the arms. We still have this cascade of energy, blood flow down to the chest, down to the head. Exhale, the whole thing comes down. Arms, spine, pelvis, hands. Bring the thighs in. Give yourself a cuddle. Feel into the back door of the heart, the space at the back of your body between your shoulder blades. Rest there. Rest at the back of your belly and the lower back. And then ease the feet down onto the ground. Notice how it feels for you in the back body. Take the hands to rest on the floor. Space the feet out so that they are roughly one hip distance apart and two beneath the knees. Feel the breath in right down into the belly, feel the belly expand. As you breathe out, lower the knees down to the right. At the exact same time as the breath out ends the movement of the knees. The breath in draws the knees, the legs back up. And each movement is held like a capsule by the breath. So we're breathing out and lowering to the left. Breathing in, drawing back to centre. Perhaps your knees go all the way down to the ground. Maybe your breath is really slow and you can take lots of time to come down. Maybe the breath is still a little fast. But hopefully, more than just the stretch now, is this invitation to let your breath and your movement be harmonious, come together, lead together. So that at the exact millisecond as you breathe out, knees draw down. At the exact point that you breathe in, knees lift. And it becomes a mindful meditation through movement, through the body, but actually on a journey inward to the inner experience, to your internal rhythm. Nothing dogmatic, just a gratitude for the body and for the breath. As if the two things are one. Let the next breath in bring you back. Exhale, gather the knees in, gather the thighs towards you. Take a pause here or a rock gently. And then rest down for relaxation. So this is the portion of the class that we move for. This is why we do all of this, is so that we can arrive then in a state of mindfulness, relaxation, and perhaps even meditation. In order for this to work best, there is something super important for you to do, and that is to be comfortable, warm. So you may feel that you want to get some warm things on, socks, blankets, jumpers. If you have to hand pillows, you might use them beneath the knees to catch the weight of the legs. You might also feel that it would help to have something underneath the head. feet on the floor or legs all the way out. Block out the light perhaps by something over the eyes, or just invite the eyes to close now. As you invite the eyes to close, notice what you see on the back of the eyelids. You might still perceive light or an awareness of the room that you're in. You might now start to sense the light, the shape, and the shadow behind the eyes. Not looking for anything in particular, even if the eyes are open. Let it be relaxed, soft, Buddha eyes. Let the outer corners of the eyes relax down. The forehead becomes smooth, and any expression that we're wearing on the face is allowed to soften. And whilst I'm sat up, you're resting the body down, and there's no reason for you to go anywhere now. You are invited to experience the full weight of your body, to feel the weight of your head, of your arms, feel the weight of the hands. Feel the weight of the shoulders, of the chest, of the back. Feel the weight of the organ body, the soft body, releasing, surrendering down, hugged to the ground by gravity. We're not fighting that anymore, we're not fighting gravity. We're allowing it to make the pelvis heavier, the thighs, the knees, the calves, the shins. Travel the length and breadth of your body in your awareness. Shine the light of the mind's eye down into the ankles and the feet. Right down into the soles of the feet, the soles and the beds of each of the toes. Knowing in a deep, innate way that every step that you have ever taken in your life has led you to this place right now. Has led you to a place where you are fully aware of the sensation of the feet. You're paying full attention to the temperature, the shape, the position of the feet. And then from the feet, building up an arrangement of the body, feeling into the ankles, softly, softly, lifting the awareness up through the lower legs, and into the knees, the bony front of the knee, the kneecap, the space behind the kneecap, the capsule of the joint, the knee crease, right at the back of the knee, feeding down then through the fibres of the thighs and into the pelvis. Feel the weight of the pelvis. Shine that torch of awareness to the left hip socket, and then to the right. Shining it forwards to the pubic bone, the front of the pelvis, down around the pelvic floor, shining a light then at the back of your pelvis, the sacrum, and then the lower back, the belly, the abdomen, the floating ribs, the lowest ribs, the diaphragm. Feel this area of the belly and the body opening and closing, expanding and contracting with each breath. This pulsing. Feel into the ribs, the upper torso, the lungs, the heart nestled between the lungs. Feel the beat of your heart. Sense up and under the collarbones to the top of the lungs. Feel the breath spreading out down the collarbones and opening you up across the chest. Feel the light of your awareness travelling down each arm into the elbow crease, into the bony parts of the elbow, the forearms, wrists, feeling then into the palms and into the backs of the hands, through the length of each of the fingers, thumbs, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, and the fifth finger. The whole hand, both hands, in awareness. From the tips of the fingers, let the awareness now drift up across the palms, up the inside of the arms, tracing fingers across the collarbones to the space between the collarbones and then the throat. Relaxing either side of that windpipe. Feeling the back of the neck become wider, spread as the head rests. The sweet spot on the back of the head, even the brain able to relax towards the back of the skull, the thoughts allowed to settle, awareness around the top of the head. Shine your light at the top of your head like a crown, letting that shine, that light, that dazzle, that glitter, relax the muscles of the face. Relax the muscles beneath the cheekbones and the jaw, and sense the breath. Sense the breath in the nostrils. The coolness of a breath in. The warmth of a breath out. Breathing in this way, and keeping all of your attention, all of your focus on this flow. The body breathing itself and your awareness here in the nostrils, on the energy, the life force coming in, nourishing the body, going out, carrying away from us all that is unnecessary, all that is no longer needed. Inhaling, inspiring, inviting inspiration. Exhale, respiring, ridding the body of that we do not need. Keep drawing the breath in and surrendering on the breath out. Welcome home to yourself. Here you are. The whole body. The whole body. So as you rest the whole body, know that my voice will go quiet, and that in a short while the sound of the chimes and the sound of my voice will welcome you back. For now, use each exhalation to release deeper, taking steps further along this pathway home, inner, internal, home to a place where you are constant and steady and present. The sound of my voice and the sound of the chimes are welcoming you back into your body, into the room, into the rest of your day. Perhaps you're also able to filter in the sounds coming from around you, maybe from around you in the room, from around you in the house, from around you out into the street. Can you hear the birds, the cars, life happening around you, bringing you back into a sense of your body, into a sense of the day. There is no rush to come up. Instead, I implore you, keep the eyes closed, keep your movements subtle and contained as you awaken the face, perhaps the eyes in their sockets, the tongue in the mouth. Feel the inhalations getting deeper, becoming bigger, filling you, lifting you, to a place where you might create some movement into the fingers and the toes, and this can be slow. it might feel to you that you're not ready to come up at all, in which case roll over, have a little bit more, take a nap even if the space allows. Otherwise, make the movements bigger, maybe a big stretch, or maybe a hug, gathering the knees in, scooping yourself in close. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, feel the breath, feel the skin, the clothes on your skin. Roll over onto one side. Still with the eyes closed, still with no commitment to anything happening next. Take your awareness down into your legs. And only when you feel ready to, extend your bottom, your top leg, and slowly spiral up through your spine up to seated. Palms can come to rest in the lap, or we can bring the left and the right hand together to close the session. Bring the body back into balance, and exhale to bow here, not to anyone outside of ourselves, but actually we're bowing to the body, to the breath, to the mind, to the things that make us and give us the ability to be present here on our mats together. Inhale, lift the head. You might keep the eyes open at this stage. And allow me to wish you all a really beautiful Christmas and New Year, and the rest of your day. Namaste.